At the heart of pharma, to me, means the center of everything. It means the lifeblood. It means where life starts and where life stops. Without the heart, you don't have anything. So when I think of at the heart of pharma here, we're bringing so many people together to invigorate, to bring new life to the industry, to be able to help people ultimately at the end.
At the heart of pharma is really human compassion. I mean, we're here to improve the situations of people that aren't really even ourselves. I mean, we get up every day and try to find solutions for the world's greatest problems. And really, that's the heart of it. We're here to change the world one person, one patient at a time.
Innovation, at the heart of pharma is innovation.
First thing is patient, because the patient is what is at the heart of pharma. And it's our job in this industry to make products and medicines that improve their lives, make it easier for them to take their therapies, and ultimately, hopefully, cure them.
So there's always also some extremities in the body. There are things that are not as connected to it. So we're talking about the center, about the engine, about really driving the things and bringing new things to life. That's for me the heart of pharma.
We have a mantra at West. Every component has a patient's name on it. And so that is just a very powerful statement that gets to the heart of pharma.
For me, it's always about the patients and the clinicians as well that are prescribing and using these medications.
It is all about patients, and the more we understand the patient and the user needs and what really the patient is going through, not only just from the disease point of view, but also from the emotional side of things, and being able to really focus on their needs and being able to provide solutions. That is really the heart of pharma.
I think just being at the heart of pharma means, understanding what the patients need, where the industry is going, what the new things are, what the new innovations are that will help the end patient.
It has to be the patients. Without the patients, there's no need for pharma, and everything we're doing is to improve their conditions, help them manage things, and improve their lives. So I would say patients are at the heart of pharma.
At the heart of pharma really means at the center of all of the aspects of what we do. So ultimately, an entity that connects providers of medicines with suppliers of either manufacturing technology, manufacturing capacity, or ultimately to end patients.
I think of amazing, dedicated scientists that get very little recognition. They're there and for the love of helping people, not just within the United States, but globally. It's a collective silent heroes that come together to help people.
At the heart of pharma, it's really patient care and improving patients' lives. So as we are all aging, it's more and more medications are needed. There's more diseases that are coming out, very specialized cases. And so the heart of pharma, everybody here wants to improve patients' lives some way or another from that perspective. So it's providing better services, better products, and things that are available to customers and patients worldwide to actually make people's lives better and live a healthy, happy life.
At the heart of pharma, for me, it's humans. Ultimately, it is solving real human suffering.
I would think of it as like a lot of little beating hearts. And a forum like this and CPHI brings a lot of beating hearts to the table, whether it be supply chain, API, drug product, consultants, small pharma, big pharma, they all have their own heart. And being able to collectively bring that together so that it's beating in unison, I think that's really important.
I think the heart of pharma is really the passion in the people. I see. So most people I meet in pharma are really passionate about what they do, and they have a dream about the world, how it should be in a couple of years, or about their project and about their colleagues in the team. And that's for me really the passion is the thing that fascinated me from the first moment I had contacted it. So.
At the heart of pharma, I think, this is getting to the center. I mean, that's how I see it. And at the heart of pharma is innovation. That's how I see it. And if you are into the innovation, new things will come up, and anything that challenges which come upon us, like pandemic, we could meet the challenge. And that's being at the heart of pharma.
For me, at the heart of pharma is the intersection of caring and innovation. You really can't have one without the other in our field. And I think, again, this is just another indication of people coming together to create solutions that will help others. So what greater calling than that?
I want to be in the pharma industry because I can really impact patients and patients' lives with what I do on a daily basis. I stumbled into pharma by accident via an internal job posting from a different department. But what really made a difference for me was a private situation when one of my relatives, at that point my grandfather, really got sick with cancer. And I realized how medicine can actually make an impact on his life. It didn't save his life, but it drastically improved the quality of his life. And that made the click for me.
I wanted to get into pharmaceuticals mainly just to help people. A lot of people in my family have been impacted by some type of health disease that was either preventable or non-preventable, but working with medicines and trying to help people is a way you can have a direct impact on their health and the health of other people going forward.
It's a very easy answer for me. What other industry can you enter where you can impact so many lives and where you can create novel drugs that will touch lives around the world? So for me, pharma was a very easy choice as far as a career, and the people that you work with, the spirit of innovation, of always pushing forward, the drive to improve, and the spirit of continuous improvement. For me, it was a very easy decision.
Because we make a difference. You know, we have the ability with our collective knowledge and capabilities to deliver medicines to patients that need it. And how do you not get excited by that? How does that not get you out of bed every day?
For me, I'm a advanced paramedic, so for me it was always clear that whenever I want to work 40 hours, 50 hours a week, I want to do that in a field where I also feel comfortable and that I really love working for. So I'm connected to the health industry. I love to work with the customers, and that's why pharmaceutical and medical packaging is in the center of my interest.
So I actually went to school at Virginia Tech in Southwestern Virginia for a biology degree. And I worked in a laboratory in the biochemistry department for my undergraduate work. And it was from there that he introduced me because he had his own little biotech company, and I got involved in that company after I graduated. So that's really how I got my start in the industry.
Many years ago, I had an issue with a family member in my early teens, and I felt like I saw how nurses and doctors came to their aid and what great medication can do to help people. So I made it my life's passion to, in some small way, to participate in an industry that's committed to helping people.
Well, I actually wanted to be a doctor. So I went to medical school. That was what I thought I was going to do. But unfortunately, I had to have my hip replaced at the early age of 26. So I had a half-completed degree and an undergraduate degree, and I got into pharma because they're who would take me. And, you know, I'm here 12 years later and still loving it. Haven't regretted my decision ever. So happy to be here and just kind of pivoted from a different way of helping people.
I've studied kind of biochemical engineering, so I've got that technical background about developing drugs and medicines and, you know, chemical intermediates that goes into pharmaceutical industries. But I just made a decision to be in sales and business development rather than in, you know, the technical part of this industry. So it's just nice to basically be in touch with different companies across the world, learn from them their need and what they actually developing and help them to get into that position. So yes, this is great.
I'm Hickman. I got in the pharma business because I'm located in Research Triangle Park in North Carolina. And there's about 189 biotech companies within a 10-mile radius from where I live. It's a growing industry. It's always going to be there, and it seemed like a great opportunity for me and a good place to be.
It really came from a desire to assist persons on a different level. And I think healthcare is one of those avenues where persons are generally always going to be feeling ill. And so as a healthcare professional, you always have that ability to sort of have an intervention in people's lives in a very tangible way.
I have a massive passion for people, and I also like science. So it's a really good marriage of the two.
For me personally, it was about sort of advancing healthcare and improving patients' lives. That's what really mattered to me. That's what drove me into this healthcare sector.
I'm a designer, so as a designer, I always want to help make people's lives better through good design and good innovation. And I kind of fell into pharma a little bit. I was originally consumer based, but as I've gone through my career and done more in the pharma industry, and it's been good to see and exciting to change and innovate through designs.
So my background is actually device development and manufacturing. And I started off working on the device field, but as I, sort of bridged the gap a little bit more towards drug delivery devices, I understood that I really need to understand the pharma side of things before we can talk about drug delivery. So I worked in some of the pharmaceutical companies, and now I have sort of a broad base across both device and pharma. And I feel that the pharmaceutical industry really is sort of the heart of getting to really treating some of the tough diseases. And I think we all need to dedicate our sort of time and effort into pharmaceuticals so we can really have some novel therapies come to the patients. And the faster we get them, really the better. So I think being in this position really helps me do that. So that's really my goal here, is to learn as much and then be able to kind of reciprocate it into some therapies that come to the market very quickly.
Happenstance, I got into the pharma industry early on after college, and it's one of the things I actually happily fell into from the perspective, and I've been in the pharma industry ever since really graduated from college. And the thing that's really come out of it is really improving patients' lives, improving people's lives. So family members, friends, acquaintances, being able to actually improve their lives by giving medication, new drug delivery systems, and other things to actually help improve patients' lives and make people live longer and live better lives.
What attracted me was gene therapy, and having dealt with people in cancer in my family, it kind of drove me 2 years ago to re-enter this industry and join Pharma.
So my family has always had a background in health and pharma, and I think I was excited by that since I was a child. So for me, it was obvious that I would like to go into that direction. I think the innovations, and especially when I joined Pharma, I met all these passionate people, and that really fascinated me about the industry. And I met really so many great and inspiring people here. And when you see all the innovations of the past years, it was really great to be part of that.
So I got into pharma industry because of my uncle who was in the pharma, and then I got my PhD here in University of Minnesota, and believe it or not, my advisor was Edward Rippey, which he is a very famous person in the research, and I got my PhD from him, and that's how I got into pharma in terms of pharmaceutical industries.
My dream is to be a small contributor year in and year out to help our collective team work on pharmaceutical products that will improve the life of people.
My vision is to continue serving the pharmaceutical industry by creating inspiring partnerships and creating more potential by pushing the boundaries of growth, sustainability, and opportunity.
I would like to see the end of so many chronic diseases. You think about cancer and so many of these other diseases that we've been struggling with, HIV, for years and years and years. So the big dream would be to eliminate diseases and chronic illnesses that people have suffered with for so long.
I'm really interested in orphan drugs specifically. I think looking at patient populations that may only have 10, 20, 100 patients worldwide who are suffering from a particular disease, being able to work with those formulations and try to bring those drugs to market to help people who are underserved.
Well, I recently just changed careers. I moved from analytical testing services to actually manufacturing now. So I'm here to be kind of on a different arm of pharma, if you will. So long term down the road, we have some commercial launches as well, and I'm really interested to see our therapeutics benefit people and help them in ways that other dosage forms can't.
Well, so from perspective at August, we've actually invested $100 million into our business today. And with that, it's focused on injectable medications, which there, as I mentioned, there's a lack of manufacturing capabilities in the US. It's been picked up by a lot of the vaccine market in the world. So now there's actually a dearth of capacity available in the marketplace. So we're actually adding this capacity so we can get these products to market quicker. So we're working on a lot of either clinical or commercial products. And these clinical manufacturers were having a really difficult time getting into the marketplace. So we were able to provide this gap of providing actually some manufacturing capabilities for them so they can get their products to the clinical trial sooner, so they can get those medications that are very important to the patients out to the market quicker. So we're adding this capacity. Now we can work from starting with their clinical product all the way through their commercial manufacturing of the product, make their lives easier. One of the cases, we work with a lot of small companies that don't have the expertise, that they're working with 3 or 4 people in the company to develop a product, and they don't have all the expertise outside of development. What we can do is we can actually be their extension of their business to do their formulation, their drug development, their testing for them, and manufacturing for them, to extend really their capabilities within the small teams of companies that are developing a lot of these innovative new products.
I think to continue, when you think about the industry itself, continuing on the trajectory towards being increasingly patient-focused and improving our image on that regard. And we've seen a lot of strides on that front with companies like Pfizer, for example, advertising their technology, advertising the scientists behind, the window, behind the desk, behind the laboratory. And I think that's really important because we are in it with, for patients, but sometimes we get that bad rap of we're in it for the money only. And of course, we have to be a monetarily or a financially, savvy business in order to stay in business and, pay for high-tech research. But it's all about the patients.
Big dream for the pharma industry is, whatever is unmet medical need, work on those medications which will solve the unmet medical needs. So for example, for Alzheimer's, there is no medication per se. I mean, it can stop the disease, but nothing to cure it. So I'm working with one company, which hopefully will have the answer to that. So that's the innovation I'm looking forward to.
I think a couple of things. We're seeing a huge trend towards digital. Everybody's talking, we've heard a lot about it at this conference and other conferences. It's a huge move to connectivity, whether that's connecting the device, whether it's digital biomarkers in terms of wearables that we're all using now, that huge collection of patient data and what can we do with it? How do we harness it to improve lives? So we're seeing a huge drive towards digital health, I think.
I think sustainability, sustainability is not just a pharma problem, it's a world problem, and we all have to do our part to make sure we have a planet to live on, and for our next generations we look after it. So I think sustainability is definitely a big thing. I'd also say tailoring and personalization, so everyone is different, and what one person needs is different to what another person needs, and I think the more tailored and personalized pharma gets, the better patient experiences will come from it. So.
Well, I think you're just going to see more and more personalized medicine, which is really exciting. I think you're going to see a lot more therapies being taken in the home, which again is exciting for a company like SHL. But really that kind of at-home use, the self-administered devices, I think that's going to be a big future.
I really think that there's going to be cures for so many big things like cancer. And I really think the research that's being done right now, we're that much closer to a cure. And it's impacted my life and my family. And I just think with all the good work that's being done, it's just a great time to be in the business.
So I think pharma industry is going to really go towards targeted therapies. I truly believe that with what we're seeing, it's all going to be about personalized medicine, about precision medicine, about targeted therapies. So it is not treating with one drug for everybody or for, it's not one size fits all anymore. It's going to be looking at what the problem is and then coming up with a solution for that particular patient group. And I think that is going to be the trend. And how then everything else reacts to it, we'll have to see But I think that's the trend, and I think that's the right path, is to look at the patient, look at the population group, and doesn't matter if it's small or big, diverse, disparity. We need to be able to have solutions for everybody, and that sometimes is not one solution fits for all. So there has to be focus about personalized medicine and targeted therapies, and that's the direction where pharma will be headed.
Yeah, I mean, the future of the pharmaceutical industry, it's going to more patient-centric drugs, more patient-centric, more individualized drugs, self-administration.
I think the pharma industry is going to become much more individual. So we'll focus on the individual, especially if you look at the microbiome, look at genes, specific genes. Well, so a lot smaller, a lot more adaptive, I think, is what we're going to see. And then again, I think we're going global.